Hello there. Today I thought I would continue my series of tea with a tree. This is my tea, obviously, and I am tree or treacle. This series, and I say series in the loosest possible way, it's just sometimes I get some ideas of things in my head, things that I would like to do. Like drink tea. So one of the things I wanted to do was just do some gentle chit-chat, some soft-spoken stuff, because that's what I do. Apparently I have a soft voice. But I thought I would use some of my years of existence and some of the experience that I have, some of the things that I do, just to pootle along and get by, in case anything helps. If anything speaks to anyone watching, then that's just great. Doesn't matter if it doesn't, or if just listening to my voice sends you to sleep. That's entirely fine. If you can find value anywhere in this video, then I'm entirely happy with that. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was things that I do to help let go. And I'm not talking about like letting go in a people sense. I just mean in a very temporary, when you're feeling very under pressure, overwhelmed, very stressed, and you feel as though the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and sometimes it's just hard to keep going because you feel you've got these burdens. So there are a couple of things that I do, and personally I love summer rain. Summer rain is just wonderful, and if possible I will wear something very, very light, not at all heavy, and I will run outside and I will maybe be in like a little t-shirt or something and just let the rain just absorb me. So I'm inspired by that feeling, the feeling of being so small in the world, of just looking up and having so much sky above you and realizing how small and insignificant you are. And that's not a bad thing, because it means that the weight of the world is not yours. You do not need to take on everything. You do not need to be responsible for all of the pressure that you're feeling. So what I like to do is, I feel that closing your eyes and the deep breaths really do help. So I inhale and I breathe in relaxation, and then when I exhale I try to let go some of the easier things to let go, just let them drift out. And I imagine that I am in a summer rainstorm, and the rain is just pouring down. It's not too cold, it's the perfect temperature. And as this rain just hammers down on me, absolutely soaking me, it takes away some of the strains and stresses and burdens. It dissolves them. I can imagine little drips just like running down my face, dropping off my nose, my chin, and I just keep my eyes closed and imagine the rain washing over me, washing the burdens away. And I find it really helps. It's relaxing, and if you continue the breathing, it just helps to center you, helps to give you that little kickstart, just so you can continue doing whatever it is you're supposed to be doing whilst you're daydreaming about being in the rain. The other thing I do, because sometimes the rain will take off like lighter things, but sometimes it just doesn't go deep enough for me, and sometimes I still feel overwhelmed and stressed and burdened. And so the other thing that I will do is, again, with the deep breaths, the life-giving breaths, in with the relaxation and out with just the lighter, easier negative things to just drop out of you. Okay, and you'll keep up those deep breaths. And again, the closed eyes, it just helps to keep everything that might be a distraction out, so you can just focus on what you're doing and focus on yourself, because you are very, very precious. So, you have your eyes closed, taking these deep breaths, and what I like to do is I acknowledge the burdens, the weights, and I know they're there, and I may label them. I may say I have that problem, that issue that I need to just be aware of, this thing that I need to do, that, and these things combined, they are dragging me down, and I acknowledge these things, and I accept these things. And then, with my eyes still closed, I step away from myself, if that makes sense. I imagine myself looking to one side at this version of me. This version of me has all of these constraints and these burdens and these pressures, but there is this version of me that has stepped to one side temporarily. And this version of me has left those burdens with the main me. And this lighter, burden-free version of me continues with those deep breaths in and out, and they feel light, and they can allow themselves to just be happy for a moment, for a little while, without the burdens. The burdens still exist, they're back over here, but this version of me does not have them. This version of me is filled with levity and just feels light, almost cloud-like, and can just mentally drift into a positive place. And I allow myself to be in that place for a few minutes. And I look back at the main version of myself, and I see a strong person. I see someone who's got this. I see someone I am proud to be. Someone who has these weights on their shoulders. Someone who can deal with those things. I look at that person and I think, you've got this. I've got this. We can do this. I then take another breath, and I mentally step back into myself with all of those burdens, but the attitude that I've got this. I do have these burdens. I can take myself forward. I've got this, and you've got this. And for some reason, this seems to help, just taking a break from myself for a few minutes, just allowing myself to mentally be somewhere else, acknowledging that my issues are issues, the problems are there, but just for a few minutes, I don't need to worry about them. And I hope perhaps that these techniques have maybe inspired you or encouraged you. Maybe you can do something similar. Maybe you have your own ways of dealing with pressure. Tea is one of my ways of dealing with pressure. I may have mentioned it before. It's one of the things that brings me joy. Making a cup of tea, drinking a cup of tea, tea existing. It's wonderful. But I hope that this few minutes of me twittering on, rambling, I hope that perhaps it speaks to somebody out there. Maybe it will help. I'm going to head off and finish the rest of my tea off camera. I would like to wish you a delightful day, a wonderful week, and the snuggliest of sleeps when it is time to go to bed. Remember, you are very precious.